What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the GameTime Podcast. We are coming to you live with some more content. I was about to say the date, 9/8, September 8th, 2025. We are recapping week 2 of the college football season. We're also going to preview week 3, and we've got 3 big headlines to talk about from this week. So not as much as last week. Well, probably 4, right? Because I know Darrell's going to touch on it, but you got Florida losing to USF. You got Mississippi State upsetting Arizona State. And then you got Oklahoma beating Michigan. And then Alabama bouncing back. Obviously, I know Darrell will have some words about that. Ole Miss, they beat Kentucky by 7 points. Oregon put up 69 points over Oklahoma State. And then after that, things go back to normal. Iowa State beat Iowa in their rivalry game, and after that, that's about it. I think I told you, Arch Manning. There's a video going around of him throwing, and he's like he hurt, like something's going on with his throwing shoulder. People are assuming. We're not going to talk about that today. They beat San Jose State. Nothing really there to touch on. We'll see how the Arch thing progresses. If they announce something, then we'll talk about it. But right now, we're not gonna speculate on it for the most part, because we've got some other headlines to talk about. But Darrell, I'm going to give the floor to you. Where do you want to start after what was a little more calmed down week of college football?
I've got to start with the University of Florida, man. I can't go anywhere else but there first. I'm gonna get to my boys behind me.
We were both talking pretty high about Florida.
Yeah, talent wise, absolutely right. So what I saw in that game, so I watched about 2.5 quarters of that game. What I saw was a hungry USF team, very similar to when Bama went to USF and barely won that game 2 years ago. And then also last year, if you remember, I was at this picture here is the USF game in T-Town.
Oh, really?
And so the thing about USF is they realize they're big game hunting. And they went out, they gave Bama hell last year. They gave them double hell 2 years ago, and they just kicked Florida's ass. So what I see is this. You can't go against USF and think, okay, it's USF, we got this. They're well coached. They played well. They got a Grammatica as a kicker. So any team that has a Grammatica as a kicker, you got an opportunity to win that game. Go back to the Bill Grammatica back in the day with Tampa Bay and his brother Martin Grammatica, I think is his name, the Fighting Grammaticas. So here's what I like about what they did. When the game was tight and they had that safety, they didn't rest on their laurels. They went up, if I remember right, they went up, I think it was 15-6 or 7 or something like that. They kept fighting. They didn't celebrate. They kept fighting. And then when you have the young man, number 90 for Florida, spit in the player's face, coming off the heels of what happened on the few days before, it talked about 2 things. One was discipline. One was control. And one was, why is the coach allowing, and people say, well, the player did it, not the coach. No Nick Saban player will ever spit on another player.
No Ryan Day player, no Kirby Smart player, no Sarkisian player.
There's a lot of lack of discipline in some other areas, but
Georgia, that's a fair point. My apologies.
Spitting on a player, that speaks of the coach having lost it. And you saw the video that I think I sent you when they said fire him they were leaving in the concourse. They were chanting fire the coach.
They have been saying fire Billy Napier for the last 2 years, and the only reason his job was saved last year is because of Lagway, and that's it.
Think about this. You just said Lagway. Where was he Saturday?
No, I agree. Lagway did not look good. I'm just saying.
So maybe we overestimated Florida. Raised. Maybe I was one of those ones, because the over/under was 6.5 wins. We banked this one as a win. So now we're talking 5.5 wins. If that's the case, Billy Napier is going to be leading Florida, University of Florida. Someone else is going to come in, but it didn't start with Billy Napier. It started with coach that left Mississippi State that came there prior to Billy Napier. And what's happened is the University of Florida hasn't been significant in 10 plus years. Yes, they were the SEC title game against Bama 5 years ago. Other than that, and that was I'm going to say a luck of the draw, but things fell their way.
Yeah.
They haven't been significant. And unfortunately for them, they've had these hopes of Urban Meyers of the days of yesteryear. We spoke last week about Urban Meyer going to Bama. No, Urban Meyer needs to take his lion ass to Florida because we don't need a stopgap coach in T-Town. Florida may need a stopgap coach because they haven't done anything in a while.
Well,
so all you people saying, hey, go to Alabama because they need your help. No, Florida needs his help.
Florida needs a lot of help. Yeah.
Stay out of the Tuscaloosa business, okay? We're fine. We're going to be okay. Take your coach, sit him down there to Florida, and let him work some of his magic. So take your Florida and shove it. He ain't working here no more. Leave it at that.
UCF, or not UCF, USF. They take on Miami next week. That is going to be tough. But I'll tell you right now, if they beat Miami, the Big 12 needs to give USF a call, and USF needs to get up into one of them bigger conferences. If they can beat Miami, the Big 12 needs to get them on the phone.
Well, let's be real here. Miami played the best game we've seen them play probably in 3 or 4 years against Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
They had a little bit more manageable game this past week.
Yep.
Okay. You got a USF team that comes off of a win against Florida. There's going to be some downtrot there. I think Miami by 2 touchdowns. Okay. Not because of talent-wise, but because did you see the USF coaches celebrating, going to the locker room, being happy about all those things? Yeah. There's going to be residual. You got kids that are 18 to 22
you got to be a little fired.
Old.
You got to be a little fired up. It's definitely you got to be fired up. I mean,
there's no not.
I want
them to be fired.
If I saw it right, they got paid like $500,000 to come to the swamp.
They paid them $500,000 to take an L.
I'd be fired up too, to be honest. So. Yeah. Hey, you know what?
I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying is you got 18 to 24-year-olds now coming off of that type of a high.
You take the Hurricanes. You see these are Bulls. I'm taking the Bulls. Give me the USF Bulls. They're gonna beat Miami.
Hey, after the call, let's do a little wager here because I want some of that.
I'm gonna ride with them. I'm gonna give them some hope here. I'll
Fair
pick
enough.
USF.
Fair enough.
Man, sucks for Florida. That's all I'm going to say. Jesus. Their schedule, let's be real, right? We talked about it in our first preview. They weren't going to really be good this year because of the schedule alone. So this is just, that's putting a lot of salt into a very deep wound at this point. Well, an upcoming deep wound because that's
for you Florida fans, take a look at Billy Napier's buyout. Take a look at what he has guaranteed to him over the last 2 years.
Well, so I was watching the Netflix doc where it's about the SEC, right? And obviously Netflix, it's a reality sports documentary. They may drama it up a little bit, but they asked Napier in the documentary. This was last season. How do you feel that donors are putting together buyout money already? So really, if you want to think about it, the donors already have this buyout money ready. Like it's already ready to go.
I want Billy Napier's agent. That dude played it like a fiddle. Hey, you get rid of him, but boy, he's going away with a golden parachute.
Yeah,
he's going away with a golden parachute. And guess what? He's going to get another opportunity to coach at a lesser university and get paid again.
Credit to Billy Napier. He's going to get some. The donors have had the money since last year, apparently, so we'll see how it goes. And it doesn't get any easier. Florida gets to go play in Death Valley against the LSU Tigers, and I think the momentum continues to build in Death Valley for LSU. They're now number 3 in the country. They're behind, who is it? Ohio State and Penn State.
And Penn State.
So, the momentum's really rolling there. And like I said last week, just don't have, you can have a Kellyism, but it's got to be in the right moment. And this would not be the moment to have a Kellyism. If you lose against a top team, if you lose to Texas, you lose to Georgia, all right, It's probably gonna happen anyways. It's
I
fine.
would
But
love to see LSU get beat against Florida. I don't like Florida. I don't like LSU,
see, I do
but I
like
really don't
LSU.
like Brian Kelly. I would love to see him get beat. But again, I still think they're a top five team in the
Yeah,
country. I think
I
they are. But I would love to see Brian Kelly, especially this week, coming off Florida losing like they did. Oh man, it would do me so much satisfaction.
we will. I will be watching it. I hope LSU wins. I am a bit of an LSU guy, but I like Florida. Like I've said it already. Florida, LSU, and Texas. Those are really the three teams I guess root for. I wouldn't say I root for either. Like it's really who's ever doing the best. I'll root for.
Fair
But
enough.
when you look at the other games that we had, right? Mississippi State beating Arizona State. Really
The cowbells.
the
The
snake
cowbells.
the snake on the head of the Big 12, the main head, it has been chopped off. So like the Big 12, that you're the team that you thought was going to be your top
Your
dog,
cash cow. Your cash cow, right?
that's pretty much done at this point. I
Well,
mean,
Iowa State has something to say about that, right?
oh
So what
yeah,
I'll
that's
say is
true.
this. What I'll say about this is Stark Vegas, right? I said to some other people the other day, when you go to Starkville and those cowboys are rocking and rolling, things can happen. But I'm gonna tell you this: if you look at that play, the last game of that play, there were three players that went with the underneath receiver running a crossing pattern about 8 yards. Three players went to the guy, and the deep over, he had 70% of the left side of the
I
field
know.
wide open. So the quarterback, all he had to do is drop it out there, lay it out there. He did that. They scored a touchdown. Arizona pissed their pants. Mississippi State won the game. You win what you deserve.
Yeah.
Arizona State is kicking themselves in the ass right now because of what happened in that game. If you look at that last play, that is Harry High School Globetrotters against the New Jersey Generals. That's what it looked like. That's exactly what it looked like.
Man, all right. Next up,
I'm fired up, man.
Oklahoma beats Michigan. Bryce Underwood, please step to the front. We need to talk.
Fine.
We
I
need
said
to
Bryce
talk.
Underwood looked great. He physically looked like Cam Newton.
9
I
of
said
24. That
he's
is
one of a
bad.
kind. He's going to hit the
Oh.
ground running.
Oh.
You know what he did? Not only did he wet the bed, then he goes on the sidelines pointing fingers at players who didn't get the job done. And now the only thing we're talking about, we're not talking about the week before. We're talking about, was he ready? LSU fans are saying, we're glad he didn't come. After one game in an incident that happened, LSU fans are saying, I'm glad he didn't come. The money he's making, he should have played better. Remember I said earlier, the money doesn't make you catch the ball. The money doesn't make you throw the ball right? He's a freshman, a true freshman, not a redshirt freshman. He's been on campus since the summer. That's it.
Yeah.
Give him a chance. Yes, I overestimated Michigan. I said I think I said they would beat Oklahoma by 10 points to 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
I was wrong. Give Oklahoma credit, give their coaching staff credit, but I'm gonna tell you this. They did the same exact thing against my boys last year in the same stadium. Maybe it's something about Oklahoma and that home field advantage, a night game going on, and there's something to it. I'm not saying that the LSU Fighting Tigers night games, but last 2 seasons, they've got 2 giants, and they took them behind the woodshed, and they beat them both. One was my boys last year, and this year Michigan. So give credit to where credit is due. Oklahoma, give them their kudos.
My cousin Cameron in Texas, he's an Oklahoma fan. He sent me this text the week before Oklahoma and Michigan. He said, hear me out. We, Oklahoma, will run the SEC this season. We are healthy. We are a threat. We will cause problems. We are real. And I said, fair point. I said, but let's see how the game goes against Michigan, and I'll get back to you about that. Well, man, I'm saying it right here on the pod. I had not heard about John Mateer that much heading into the season, but I do know about him now, and I know about this Oklahoma team. Offensively, since Lincoln Riley has left, the offense has been, just subpar. It's not been good. It's not been great. I mean, I would say last night, or not last night, Saturday, it looked a little more than good. It looked pretty good. Defensively, I thought the defense did its job. I mean, 13 points. I can't, multiple punts. I can't complain. Defense looked good. I mean, we when we look at the SEC this year, right? And I told you this on the phone a couple of days ago. I said, I think Georgia's probably still Georgia and Texas, right? I'll put Texas in there, even though I'm not high on Texas right now. Those are still the cream of the crop, right? But I think with how LSU played against Clemson, how Oklahoma looked on Saturday, I think those are two teams that kind of maybe, I'm not going to say creeped up on us. I think me and you both kind of thought LSU could be good, but we also know they can crap the bed, as you said. But it really feels like, okay, we're 2 weeks in. There's still a lot more to go. But early on in this, it's like, okay, maybe these two programs, maybe they can make some noise. And maybe they're one of the ones seeing Texas and Georgia in the SEC championship game when this season's all said and done. It's like, so let's see what happens. I'm very impressed by Oklahoma, and I wanted to show my cousin some love there because he called this out. He called this a week out before this game played. And
get in the conference play. Let's get in the conference play. And they've definitely been impressive.
I'm impressed. But
let's look at week 5. Where do you stand in week 5? Because when you get into conference play, there are no more games. And I'm not talking about football games. I mean games with ULMs of the world, right? Eastern Illinois of the world, Ball States of the world. Those days are over.
Yeah.
So let's see after week 5, week 6. Now, where do you stand? So in other words, week 6. So that gives you, let's see what happens.
Darrell, how do you feel about Alabama?
About the same.
Okay.
About the same. Alabama did what they were supposed to do. On this show, I said they better hang 60. They hung 73. They hung 73. Okay. They played with a lot of fire. You got a team that's inferior. You have players that are inferior. You should play that way.
Mm-hmm.
So what I believe is there was a whole lot of conversation about the standard last week. Okay.
Yeah.
It looked pretty decent, but it was ULM. It wasn't LSU.
Yep.
Okay. So pump our brakes. Let's see what happens. Wisconsin is in this week. This is not the Fighting Ron Danes of 20 years ago. Okay. This is a current Wisconsin team that is probably a 3-touchdown underdog. They'll probably lose by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Bama has the talent. They had something to say. I'm tired of people talking about us. They showed it. You got Ty Simpson started the game. He played the first quarter and a half. Then you got Austin Mack came in. He's a transfer from Washington. And then my guy, Keelan Russell, the 5-star freshman phenom, came in the third and fourth quarter and played well as also, right? They put the money on the players, right? And there's no complaints about that. They shut them out. They should have. Yep. So I'm not sitting here celebrating, we're back. We never left. But Wisconsin is in. You got an uptick in talent. Then let's see where you are as a team and as an organization. I said on this show, we talked about DeBoer being fired. There's a lot of reasons why he's not going to be fired. He followed the greatest coach of all time. He's going to be given a time. He's not going to be given one season, one game to say, well, you're out of here. It doesn't work that way. Let's talk about 1994 to 2005. You got Shula, you got the coach who had the scandal out of Washington, went to the strip club. You had a lot of mediocrity between 94 and 2006. So let's calm our horses down. I'm not saying Kalen DeBoer is the next Newt Rockne. He's going to get this season to play it out because he has talent. He's recruiting at a high level. If he wets the bed at the end of the season and winds up 8-4 or 7-5, there's going to be continual muttering. But he's not going anywhere. I'm going to tell you why. You can't name me a coach that's going to replace him. You can throw these spitball names out there that have no chance. Lane Kiffin burned bridges 3 years ago. There's no chance. Zero chance. Zero chance. Lane Kiffin has no chance. Now who's your next coach? Oh, Urban Meyer, psych, not going to happen. Bama doesn't get a stopgap coach at this point. They're getting a long-term. Now who's your coach? Who's going to? Dan Lanning said no last year. The year before, yeah, last year. Now who? So you can't just throw names. Oh, what about Mike Tomlin? That's who a buddy of mine had talked about. Maybe. I don't see it happening in Tuscaloosa. I don't see it happening in Tuscaloosa. Now who's your coach? Kirby Smart, he's doing things in Georgia. Why think about it?
Why would he leave? Yeah.
Right. Kirk Cignetti in Indiana. Why? He's making a point. He's making an opportunity there in Indiana. He's not going to come to Alabama. No. And they're not going to ask him to come to Alabama. He had the stack wins. He had a good year last year. Stop it. He talks a lot.
Yeah.
Calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
Bama's going to be fine.
We'll see how he's talking when they got to play Illinois in a couple weeks. Then
look at the next 4 weeks. They got Illinois, they've got Oregon, and I think they've got they
got Old Dominion on Friday, but
they got ISU
or Indiana State.
Indiana State. But they got in a 4 week span, they've got Oregon, they've got Illinois, and I want to say I forget who it is else they got in the Big Ten. And so in that 4 week span, you better beat
Iowa.
You better beat Indiana State because there's a strong chance those 3 games are going to come down to the wire. And now you're 20th ranked. You have 3 losses after 7 games.
I'll tell you right now, IU fans, you can give up the Oregon game. You're not beating Oregon. I'll say it for you.
That's a given. But I think the Illinois game is going to be the
No, I agree. Illinois games, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see for sure.
So just as a recap, Alabama's going to be fine.
Okay. Looking on to next week, like I said, there wasn't much to talk about for this week, but I did want to get some thoughts out there because, there's some things to think about as we head into the next week because there's some bigger games next week, right? So, Darrell, to start us off, when we look at week 3.
All the viewers, subscribers, friends, family of the GameTime Podcast, do me a quick favor. All right, reach out and get your T-shirts. If you look to the right of me or the left of me, you'll see both of my colleagues have these beautiful GameTime T-shirts.
Yeah, man, check it out. You see it right here, the logo that you see on the pod.
What you don't see is me with one because they forgot to give me mine. So you go get yours before I get mine, all right? Because you're closer to the family than I am because they left me out. I love those two, like cooked food, but they left me out. But you know what? They won't leave you out. Contact Isaiah, contact God. You can even contact me, and maybe we'll get ours together at the same time. All right?
We might.
Get in touch with us for details. We'll take care of you.
Absolutely. Rock the Game Time.
GameTime Podcast. That is right, folks. We are officially selling shirts. If you have any interest in buying them, let us know. $20 is the price for that. We're a startup selling them, so maybe Darrell will be nice and
maybe some flexibility. You never know. Just reach out and see. These aren't free, but hey, we have some opportunity to put our word out there. The GameTime Podcast as we continue to grow for sure.
It's all about support. So if you guys do want to support us, make sure you guys do let us know. Just something we're starting up. Just gonna see how it worked. We originally got them made for the pod, but then we had a couple people reach out to me and Darrell about maybe wanting to buy some. So we were like, you know what? Why not make an announcement video? So if you're interested, please let us know, and we will see you guys next time right here on the GameTime Podcast.